The pandemic has forced countries, including the Philippines, to adapt to digital payment systems, with the cashless option becoming the new normal. What lies ahead for the country? We find out now from the co-president of Mastercard Asia Pacific, Sarker. He joins us now live from Singapore. Mr. Sarker, thank you so much for joining us. The past 8 months has been a very challenging time for the Philippines, with the health crisis, closing down many businesses and keeping many Filipinos at home. Did the country accelerate its digital payment system during this period?
Oh, pleasure to be here with you, Rico, this evening. Well, I think, Rico, Philippines was on a very positive track on moving towards a more digital-based economy, even pre the pandemic. I think what you've seen through the pandemic is the need and the necessity of shifting to digital channels has accelerated that process. And whether it's a consumer who needs banking services, who needs to get essential products or get essential services, all of that has increasingly started to shift digital. And consumers are using more contactless payment capability. And businesses, I will also argue, are also seeing the benefits of being digital and having what we call as the omni-channel presence. And some have painfully figured out that not having presence in multiple channels in a pandemic environment can essentially mean a complete closure of business operations.
So
I think
Mr.
we're going to see
Sarker,
a continued shift in momentum.
So, Mr. Sarker, have we caught up with the rest of the region? Are we now at par with the rest of Asia, particularly maybe like Singapore or Hong Kong in terms of digital payments?
Well, I think that the trajectory is really positive, Rico. If you look at e-commerce is growing at a roughly close to 30% clip year on year. You've got a young population. Smartphone penetration is at about 95%. And you've got a highly social media active population. These are all great foundations to continue to build on. And I think the prognosis for the future is really positive, and Philippines is making a lot of bets in the fintech space. Banks are collaborating with fintechs and really creating a better consumer experience, better business value proposition. I think all of this will continue to drive towards a more digital economy.
But this pandemic has also pressured a lot of the financial institutions in the country to adopt the latest payments technologies. Are the innovations implemented safe and secure for customers, Mr. Sarker?
Rico, I think it's a great question. I think consumers just across, not just Philippines, across the region do ask the question that, going digital, am I being protected or am I exposing myself to the challenges of the digital economy? My sense here, Rico, I think technology is shifting at a really fast pace. And there's a lot of artificial intelligence-based authentication capabilities, which are tools that are running in the background, coupled with what we call in the industry tokenization standards, which in essence means that the cardholder credentials and consumer credentials are never compromised or are never provided in any type of physical or e-commerce interaction. And I think all of these capabilities in the coming years will ensure that consumers are more protected in a digital environment than they are in what we call in the physical world of payments and retail trade.
Mr. Sarker, the central bank governor of the country, Ben Jokno, has cashless ambitions. And his aim is to make Filipinos more financially inclusive by the end of 2022. How is your group supporting the central bank's cashless goals?
Rico, I think the Central Bank of Philippines is probably one of the more visionary central banks in the region. And I must give them complete credit that the shift towards digital and the partnerships that we are striking here in Philippines and our ability to bring real-time payments to Philippines early next year. And there's a heavy amount of activity going on right now to implement what we are calling the next generation of payment rails in Philippines. And you will see some very significant use case and applications which will generate more business opportunities for both Philippines businesses as well as opportunities for consumers to have a better experience. I don't want to go technical here, but data the analytics around it, and the ability to drive better business decision making, all of that is going to see a very significant step up early next year with the introduction of the new real-time payments platform in Philippines.
Thank you so much for your insights on the cashless digital payment system in the Philippines. Ari Sarker, the co-president of Mastercard Asia Pacific, joining us from Singapore.